Do you find yourself? Do you find yourself? Darn the Smarties, darn the Doritos, darn social media, darn, darn, darn. Do you feel yourself sometimes you're telling yourself that there's something that you do that you shouldn't, and that you know about it, you know what you have to do, and you don't? Well, today we are starting with the advanced momentum strategies from the book Momentum by Evan Carmichael. Today we're going to look at two strategies. The first one is called the Damn the Doritos, and the other one, the 10-year plan. And they work hand in hand. The idea of Darn the Doritos by Evan Carmichael, and for me it's Darn the Smarties, it's the fact that sometimes there are things that we love, but we know that it's not good for us. So Evan has a big bag of Doritos in his office. For me, I have a box of Smarties in the kitchen, and it's framed in the kitchen cabinet. And the reason for that is this was a time when I would probably eat one box of Smarties a day, and it was not good. But I was craving the chocolate. I was craving the sugar. And at some point, I told myself I had to stop eating Smarties. And so during Halloween, it was before COVID. So probably in 2018 or 2019, I took a box of Smarties. I put it on the door, and just to remind me that I had to stop eating them. And I have not eaten Smarties since. And the good thing is, chocolate is not the best for me. Sugar is not the best for me. But I keep there just in mind, I keep it there on the door so that I know that I am stronger than the Smarties, and I know that I can make the right choice for me. So here, the interesting thing is we know what we have to do. Sometimes we know that what we need not to do. And this is part of the thinking for today. Because in life, we do hard things. And it is one saying by Evan Carmichael. We do hard things that to get ahead in our projects. We do hard things to stop something that we should not do. We do hard things where we have to learn something because we have failed in an endeavor. But knowing that we do hard things allows us to say, okay, I may not be the best I may not be the best right at the beginning, but I can get better. And that is something amazing because we can all learn. So I'm going through the book here, and as I read Evan's book, I always take notes. So I'm sharing with you the notes I took as I read the book. And it's always nice to see how it opens conversation for the discussion. So here is my first idea. So you need to make or take the decisions needed to be the best version of yourself. If you think of what we want to do, we may have goals. We know what we need to do. Either we want to get a new job, maybe we need to lose weight, maybe we need to be healthier, maybe we need to work on a relationship, a family relationship as well. So the idea here is we all know what we need to do, but at some point we need to take or make the decisions to address that. And that's the whole idea, that we do hard things and we want to become the best version of ourselves. Because when you become the best version of ourselves, we get to know more and more about who we are. And that's how we grow, because we are going outside of our comfort zone and we can build amazing things. So here I say here that it is important to do so, to have self-love, but also self-respect. The idea is that, for example, if you are in a relationship, deep down, we know what works as a great relationship. The idea here is we need to sometimes have hard discussions, hard conversation, so that we can improve the relationship or realize that it's time to notice that the relationship has gone through its course and it's time to move on. If you think of our health, we need to be the best version of ourselves so that we can be the healthiest person as we can. And the same thing is in business. There's some clients that are amazing, some clients that we need to work harder And the question is, what are the best clients for our business, so that at the end of the day, our energy is there to build the best version of who we are for the best version of the world we can contribute in. And then that goes like this. So I talk about my two habits because I do have bad habits. The first one is I need to learn more before I start. That's one of my big weakness, because I say, oh, I need to learn this before I start. I need to learn this before I start. But there's so much to learn that I end up not starting what I want to do. So the idea here is we can learn and become a lifelong learner, but we can take action and learn as we take more actions. And that's something that I need to improve on. It's not easy to say. And for that, I need to start and learn as I go. And in teaching, we call it experiential learning. So you learn through experience. Now, we can experience a whole bunch of things, and at the end of the day, we need to figure out that what we experience or the decisions we take, are they taking us closer to our end goal? And that is something we have to keep in mind. My other one is indeed food. I tend to eat too much, and in some ways, I don't have the routine to eat well and take care of my body. So that is one of the things that I need to work on this week. I was reading this chapter and I said, okay, I really, really need to focus on this. So that is my plan for this week. I'm going to have to make hard decisions, and it's going to mean that I'm going to make better choices when I go grocery shopping, and it will be better for everybody. Let's see if we can think of another one. So here, if you want to have strategies to make the hard decisions, to do hard things, I go like this. We make empowering decisions for health, relationship, and wealth. So when we take decisions, it's not to make a decision so that we don't have to deal with it anymore. We need to make decisions so that we can empower who we are. It may happen that we have to let go of a few things. It might mean that we have to make decisions to do hard things. On the other hand, if we are, as I mentioned here, make decisions so that we can empower who we are as a person, we can empower our health, empower our relationship, and our wealth, that will be the main thing. Actually, I'm going to have to put this on the wall so I can see it every day. Making empowering decisions. One thing I use when I have to start something, and sometimes we procrastinate. We know what we have to do, but we have to figure out when to start. I use a trick that Mel Robbins has been talking about for a long time, and it's her 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule. And I use this one when I have to do something and I don't know. I'm either lying in bed or I'm on the couch, or I know I have to start something and it's hard to get started. I use her trick because as soon as I say 5, my mind now knows that it's a trigger saying, okay, I'm at 5, soon I'm going to go to 4, then I need to start focusing on what I have to do to 3, and then 2, and then 1. And when I say 1, then it's time for me to get up and get started. It's a trick that I've told myself quite a bit. I use it when I have to do marking, when I have to clean the house, and I need to use this so I can build my community even more, and how many great things we can do together. So here, there's a section in the book here. So here I'm looking at the advanced momentum strategy, and it goes like this. It's important not to compare yourself to others. And my note goes like this. We need to inspire ourselves. So that means that comparing ourselves to others, that's not the best way. Because instead of focusing on who we are, what we've done so far and how far we've been, we focus on what others have done, and we often forget what has been the journey of that person to achieve what they have achieved. So we need to inspire ourselves with the comparison. So the best way is to compare yourself now to who you were maybe a year ago or 5 years ago. Think about that. If you were to look at who you were 5 years ago, I'm sure there's a good chance that you won't remember, that you no, you won't recognize yourself, because the idea here is we have all evolved in the last couple of years, and the amazing thing is we need to be proud of that. If it happens, you look back and says, you know what, I haven't changed that much, then it is a sign to you to say, okay, what is that one thing I could do to move forward just one step at a time, so that when I look back in a year from now and in 2 years from now, I will have seen personal growth. It's important. So here I have it like this: do not compare yourself to others. Your life, your journey, your challenges, your joys, that you, in your life, have made who you are right now. And right now, who you are is the best version of who you are. And at this time, based on all these experiences. So the question is, some of us may need to continue with amazing experiences, and others, you may have to change your experiences to have better ones, so that you can have a better version of who you are as time progresses. So here, life pushes you up and down all the time. And here I have a note that says, well, always choose the way up, or pushing yourself up a little bit. It's often easy to have negative thoughts and saying, oh, I tried it and I failed. I knew it. I knew that would happen. To turn around saying, okay, I tried it. That way doesn't work. Let's see if I can try something different so that I can get excited. And I go like this: learn to realize what is possible and expand what you believe that it is possible. Now, you may believe it's possible. You may not know how to get there at this time with what you know, but it doesn't mean that it can be done. I'm sure you're looking up at some other people in your life, or people on the media, CEOs of companies, amazing people with amazing heart that are helping so many people. The idea here is, if you know people that are where you'd like to be, well, that means that it's possible to get there. The thing is that you haven't had a chance to do what you needed to get there, or you haven't done what's necessary to get there. So you're going to have to see if you can call people, if you can meet people, join a group, join a community, so that you can get guidance and change your environment so that you can do greater things that you've done so far. I also mentioned something like this: curiosity is the drive to know how much more you can believe in, including your unique creative self. And keeping in mind, so it's interesting. So these are the notes as I was reading. Keeping in mind that if you're curious, that means that wherever you are at this time, whatever you are reading, whichever experiences you have, that means that your mind is capable of expanding and going beyond where you are right now. And it's quite amazing. So that means it's a clue that you can do more than where you are at this time. That's why I believe that learning is quite amazing. But having the curiosity to explore and expand your mind, that is priceless. And that is the first advanced momentum strategies about Damn the Doritos, saying, okay, we do hard things. Let's see what we can do to get there. I'm going to talk about the second advanced momentum strategies. That's a shorter one. It goes like this: stop making 10-year 10-year goals. And I am a bit guilty of that, because I love to learn. And I say to myself, let's learn everything I can so that I can, in 10 years, do what I want to do, or I want to achieve in 10 years this goal. You know how far 10 years is from now? So the idea here is, okay, what can we do to move forward faster? One of the person I respect a lot is Elon Musk, and I was listening to one interview he was having, and I don't remember who he was talking to, but he was talking about the fact that if you have an idea, what you do is, for example, he was talking about his rockets. And he says, okay, you want to build a rocket, perfect. What you need to do is you need to outline all the steps that you need to do, all the plans that you need to do in the next year, the next 2 years, to get where you want to go. And once you have set those plans, saying, okay, in 2 years, this is where I will be. His idea is, say, okay, now that you know that it can be done, or you have the plan for 2 years from now, let's see what you can do to shrink the time so that instead of 2 years, you try to see if you can make it in 18 months, try to make it into 12 months. And what happened is you can much faster achieve that goal. And guess what? If you can have a plan, a 2-year plan, and you can shrink the timeline by being resourceful, by getting the help you need and do it in 1 year, that means that the year that you are not using can be a year of expanding even more your ideas. And that's how I think Elon Musk is doing so amazing things, and his company is growing with all these ideas that we say, well, how is it possible that he can do all of those things? It's because he has laid some plans and is shrinking the timeline to get them. That's quite important. Here, Evan writes this: you have no idea what you're capable of in a 10-year window. That's true. So let's see if we can. You may have a 10-year plan, and why don't you shrink it into a 5-year plan? If you have a five-year plan, why don't you try to see if you can squeeze it in a 2 or 3-year plan, so that you can be a few years ahead, so you can try something new. That's quite amazing. So I have here something interesting. They talk about how having a long-term plan. I mentioned here that I struggle to learn English. So when I was in elementary school and high school, it was very hard for me to learn English. And at some point I said, okay, the best way for me to learn would be to go to McGill University so that I can learn in an English environment. It was not easy. There was ups and downs. There was great successes, amazing failures. But that's where it started for me to improve my English skills. And you know what? Every week I learn a new word. I focus on how I can improve it. And it's been a project that has been going on for, let's say, about 40 years. It's a long time. And it is one of my personal satisfaction to know that I have learned that language, and I can have this amazing YouTube channel and chatting with you. Very nice. And I think that is the idea here. And let's see, I have another point here. The big question is, what is my mission and what am I working on right now? And I have here tonight. So the point here is the following. Whatever we decide to do will not be easy, because there's nothing easy. Because once you take the decisions to try something new, you get out of your comfort zone. And then it is a bit of work you have to do. And then you have to have the effort knowing that there will be successes and failures, and it's choosing the learning path. And then keeping in mind that whatever you think you can do in 10 years, you can certainly do it in less than that. Think about it. Right now, it's March 6th, 2023. So 3 years ago was the beginning of the pandemic in North America. 3 years ago. Think of how much has happened in the last 3 years. So if I was thinking of 4 years ago, 5 years ago, so much happened. So if you think of what can happen in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years, it's very hard to figure out what can happen. So the idea here is, let's make a decision to know that we can do hard things because we are curious and we want to make our lives a better life and our world a better world. On this, I'm going to put here a link to my milestone journey playlist, so you can see all the videos. I'll do a daily video on how to move forward, and I'm going to put here a link on a strategy from Evan's book. You'll see. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.